"Oh, quick change. You didn't see me go, did you? Here I am." Put on his underpants only to discover they were crawling with cockroaches. Munch, munch, munch. Came face to face with a hungry hippopotamus. The creature burped with such force that it blew him clean over. Burp! And, most horrifying of all, opened the door of the wash tent only to be greeted by the sight of the old major taking a bath. Look, there he is taking a bath. And the old major says, "For goodness sake, Captain, knock next time. I'm in the nudie woody." But Captain Pride had never ever seen a pterodactyl, which was understandable as they'd gone extinct millions of years before, let alone a pterodactyl made of slime with a boy riding on its back. "What the blazes!" he bawled. In shock, his 24-piece green pen set tumbled and scattered onto the ground. As he tried to snatch at his precious pens, he accidentally let go of the lever on his Pride's tackle. Yank! The rope spun through the apparatus, and the next thing he knew, the captain found himself hoisted high in the air by his ankles. Whoosh! There he began swinging to and fro in a manner most unbecoming for a man of military bearing. Swish, swash, swish, swash. His head thumped a tree. His bottom slapped a rose bush. Look, see? Oh, no, not that one. There he is, hung upside down. And there he is, banging against the rose bush. Then, horror upon horror, the slime pterodactyl, or slimodactyl, set its mighty feet down onto the park's lawn, its mighty claws digging into the grass. "No!" cried Captain Pride, swinging himself as hard as he could to set himself free from his tackle. This he did, although not without landing upside down in a hedge. Thunk! "Oof! Can't you read the sign, you dinosaur?" Captain Pride hollered as he brushed bits of hedge off his blazer and smoothed down his moustache. "Keep off the grass!" The pterodactyl translimed back into being a blob. Ned slid off his friend onto the park bench, which had never ever been graced by a bottom before. After all, there was a huge sign that read, "Keep off the grass." See, that's what's happening there. Sorry, keep off the bench, not off the grass. "What the devil is that thing, boy?" demanded the captain. "It's my friend," said Ned. "I'm Slime," said Slime. It reached out a blobby hand for the captain to shake. The man's nose wrinkled in disgust. From the bench, the boy looked down under his feet at the perfectly green grass. "The grass is looking especially green today, Captain Pride," he chirped. "I said off! I brushed that grass only this morning," protested the captain, waving a toothbrush from his breast pocket as proof, because he'd been brushing the grass with a toothbrush. Don't you brush the grass with a toothbrush, will you? "You have another sign that says keep off the path," remarked Slime. "Yes," replied the captain. "Well, where, oh where can we stand then?" asked Slime. "Absolutely anywhere you'd like, as long as it's outside my park. Now be gone." But the pair were in no mood to go. The two friends shared a smile. The naughtiness was about to begin. Chapter 17. The Book of Park Occurrences. "My basketball rolled onto the grass that time, didn't it, Pride?" announced Ned from the park bench. "Captain Pride to you," the man thundered. "Didn't it, Private Pride?" Ned enjoyed winding the man up. "Captain," he said. "I remember it very well," said the park keeper. "All serious incidents are noted down in my book of park occurrences. Let me look." The man pulled a little red leather-bound notebook from his blazer pocket. Embossed on the cover were the words "Book of Park Occurrences." Let me see. January the 1st, began Pride, leafing through the pages. Not a happy year, as at 0700 hours, which is 7 o'clock in the morning, highly offensive sweet wrapper blows into the park. Entire area is sealed off until culprit who dropped said sweet wrapper is found and fined. Ned looked at Slime. Slime looked at Ned. Both rolled their eyes at each other. 14th of February, 0900 hours. It's 9 a.m. A pigeon does his doodads on the newly waxed park bench. Pigeons are brought into the park shed for questioning one by one until one of them squawks. Ned and Slime sighed at this silly little man. Oh yes, here it is, March the 3rd. Captain Pride was becoming animated now. 1100 hours. That's 11 a.m. A basketball is bounced over the wall from the nearby playing fields and lands on the grass. It bounces repeatedly, 7 times to be precise, before eventually coming to a stop. One blade of grass is killed, another is seriously injured. Basketball is dealt with in an instant with military precision. I puncture it with my litter collecting spear. Look, see, there he is. And he used his spear and he killed the ball, didn't he? That was really horrible because it belonged to Ned. That basketball was a Christmas present from my granny, said the boy sorrowfully. She sent it all the way from the Isle of Stench. It accidentally bounced over the wall. Why didn't you just throw it back when I asked you? The captain's moustache bristled. I did throw it back, he protested. Only after you burst it, said the boy. I still threw it back. The captain's left eye began to twitch. Right, I want you both out of my park now. Ned looked at Slime. All in good time. First, we need a little something for you to jot down in your park occurrences book. It is called the Book of Park Occurrences, not the Park Occurrences book, corrected the captain. Slime, continued Ned, I think we need to cause some mischief. Goody, goody, said his friend. 1,000 sweet wrappers, if you please. What the blazes, spluttered Captain Pride. Now, shouted the boy. Halt, cried Pride. The little man could make a big noise, but it was too late. Slime trans-slimed into 1,000 sweet wrappers of every colour imaginable. They floated through the air, dancing on the breeze. Captain Pride ran around in circles, trying to grab them, to no avail. Ned laughed. Now, let's have 100 basketballs. At once the sweet wrappers clung together to form balls that bounced up and down on the grass with glee. The grass! My precious grass! Keep off the grass! Yelled Pride, but there were just too many of them. He ran to fetch his litter spear and stabbed at them, but whenever it hit one, it just soaked him in slime. See, there are the sweet papers becoming basketballs. Let's not forget the pigeons, shouted out one of the slime basketballs that had Slime's face on it. Of course, said Ned. In an instant, every one of those 100 basketballs had become a pigeon. Not just any pigeon, a pooping pigeon. A super duper whooper pooping pigeon. Squawk, 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 splat, splat, splat. As the birds looped and twirled through the air, they dropped their load of multicoloured slime sloop everywhere. Splat, splat, the lawn was splattered. Splat, 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 the path was splattered. Splat, 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 the shed was splattered. Look. Everywhere. Oh gosh, look at that. Splat, splat, splat. The bench was splattered. Splat, splat, splat. Halt, barked Pride. I command you to halt in the name of Greta Greed. One last military fly past, ordered Ned. Slime knew what the boy meant, and immediately the birds gathered in formation as if they were an Air Force stunt team. They turned high in the air before coming straight to Captain Pride. Halt! He bellowed. That's an order! But they didn't stop. They kept coming, soaring through. The old soldier began to run away, but he was no match for the slime pigeons. They swooped over his head, dropping their load right on top of him. Splat, 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 splat. Splat, 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 splat. Captain Pride was splattered with poop. Dirty beasts, cried the man. His moustache, his blazer, his slacks, his highly polished boots, every last part of him was covered in goo. Oops, remarked Ted. You seem to have a tiny speck of something on you, Captain Pride. A red mist of fury descended on the park-keeper. I'll get you, boy, he yelled as he charged at Ned with his litter spear. Charge! And it's not Pride, it's Pride. Just in time, the slime pigeon swooped down to Ned and whisked him up from the park bench high into the air. Another day, Captain Prude, he called out from above. With the beat of 100 slimy wings, the boy vanished into the clouds. Chapter 18, The Bottom Banger. Madame Silenzio Sloth was the island's piano teacher. You might reasonably assume that a piano teacher taught the piano. In this case, you would be wrong. Sloth was the idlest music teacher in history. The lady would go to the most extraordinary lengths to avoid having to teach any of the children on the island anything. Whenever Ned reluctantly rolled himself over to Madame Sloth's house for his weekly lesson, she would not utter a single word to him. Instead, she would look at him haughtily and opened her hand to be paid. Look, there she is, waiting to be paid. Once her palm had been crossed with silver, she would waddle over to her old gramophone and put on a recording she'd made of herself giving a piano lesson. This was just in case any grown-ups were passing by her house and heard what she was really up to. Which, of course, was nothing. Now, child, let Madame Sloth hear those scales one more time, the voice on the crackly old record would say, and then you would hear the sound of piano keys being struck. Plonk, blonk, 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 blonk. Once the illusion had been created, Madame Sloth would take an hour-long snooze on the chaise longue. The only way she would wake herself up in that time was with one of her own bottom bangers. Ba-boom! They were as thunderous as a Wagner opera. Look, there she is, sound asleep. Yeah. If her bottom bangers didn't wake her, an ornate gold carriage clock on her mantelpiece would chime to tell her the hour was up and her lesson was over. Ching! How was Madame Sloth allowed to get away with this? Because Greta Greed did nothing about it. In fact, she encouraged it. Anything that brought children misery was fine by her. Because Ned never learned a thing about playing the piano in his years of enduring Madame Sloth's lessons, he would be sent off to have more and more lessons. One day, when his mother returned home from the fish market, Ned told her what was really happening in those lessons. Nothing. Nada. Nothing. Diddly squat. Of course, being a grown-up, Ned's mother didn't believe him. Just like all the other grown-ups on the island, Madame Sloth had bamboozled the woman into thinking she was the most fantabulous piano player in the world.